A flat tire is the result of a sharp object puncturing your inner tube. And to repair that, we need to swap out the inner tube.
Awesome.
I think we got it, right?
That was so perfect.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm the Weekend Bike Tech. This pink bike poll shows that there's no consensus on which equipment to bring to repair a flat tire. But regardless of what equipment you bring, you're still going to need to know how to change your inner tube. Let's get into it. Back after a short customer break. I like to bring a light setup when I ride. So I ride with an inner tube replacement, tire levers, wrenches to change it, and then a CO2 canister. The first step to changing a flat tire is removing the wheel. Pull the quick release open. There's a notch here that allows you to loosen it up counterclockwise. Once it is unthreaded, the axle pulls out and the wheel drops. In an earlier How to Fix a Flat video, the bike tech replaced the front wheel, and there were a lot of comments that the rear wheel is a little bit trickier, which is true. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the rear as well. We're gonna loosen up the axle bolts, one on each side. From there, you're going to loosen up the two tension bolts. Now that I've got the wheel loose, what I like to do is push the Kevlar belt in and pedal the crank arm backwards, and that will knock the belt off. Okay, I flipped the bike to the non-drive side, the side with the brake on it, the disc brake. First thing you need to do is disconnect the cable that connects the motor to the battery. And that's done just by pulling it out. And it'll pop out right at the center. And the final thing before you remove the wheel, loosen up the calipers, remove those bolts. The cable will stay attached to the caliper. And one of the nice things about the touring setup is that you can hang it out of the way of everything, just kind of right in between the rack here. And it'll pop right out. Okay, with the wheel off, we are finally ready to replace the inner tube. The bead of the tire is hooked on the rim. And so by kind of going around and smushing, if you will, the tire into the center of the rim, it gives you a chance, it's less work later on to remove the tire. Now I like to start near the valve. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your tire lever and hook it underneath the bead of the tire and loop it outside the rim. And then as you work your way around, it will just separate the tire from the bead. You're going to grab the inner tube and pull it out. There may still be a metal object that punctured your tube stuck in your tire. What I typically will do is pull the tire off the entire rim so you can pop it right off. If it doesn't come off easy, again, you can use your tire lever to coax it that way. And what I'll do is slowly rotate through, and I'm flexing the tire out and I'm trying to find where that metal object is. Once you have found and pulled out the metal shard, you're going to first put the tire back on the rim. Now, a lot of times you can force the tire back on just one side without the tire lever. I have pulled out my new tube, a replacement tube, put the valve through the hole, and then I pull the tire over it and then just start working my way around and seating the inner tube in the tire. Again, like everything, you always start at the valve, and the reason for that is because it can be a little bit harder to seat the bead right on the valve, and you want to make sure that that's done properly. Now I just work my way around, seating the tire. In an ideal world, I wouldn't even use the tire lever. I would just use my hands to pop it back on. And I think this one actually might be loose enough to do that. You can see here with a little bit of force, a little bit of maybe coaxing. There we go. I highly recommend a CO2 canister and valve. Make sure that it's seated, the valve on the Presta holder, and then I go ahead and press, and it will inflate the tire just like that. And you're ready to put your wheel back on the bike. To put your wheel back on, you just are gonna take the process in reverse. That is how you fix a flat tire on a Babymaker. Thanks for wrenching with me today. See you next time.